And welcome back to Stories from the River. This is your host, Charlie Malouf, and we're bringing you a brand new series today. This is Ashley's Right to Win Boot Camp.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
We're on location here, and so I'm here with a return guest, a very special guest, Renee Bradley. Renee, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Renee is our recently named, promoted Associate Director of Retail, Onboarding, and Education. And Renee, where are we today?
We're in Pineville, our flagship location. We are hosting the final day of our boot camp.
The final day. How many days have we been doing this boot camp?
4 days.
4 days. Okay, so how many people have run through the boot camp?
Approximately 330 people have come through the boot camp since Tuesday.
330. Just in this location?
No, 8 different locations. We had 8 host locations across the company, and logistically, we got everybody where they needed to go and be, and everybody has participated.
Okay, 8 host sites
Yes.
throughout our 33 locations.
Correct.
Over 4 days. Now, how long is one training class?
Approximately 5.5 hours.
5.5
They start
hours.
at 9 o'clock on the dot and they end at 2:30. They've been very punctual.
And I heard that includes like a quick 30-minute lunch break.
Very quick 30 minutes. That's timed.
Okay, so it's an action-packed 5 hours of product knowledge training.
Correct.
Ashley's Right to Win training boot camp. Now, 330 people. Like, how long have you been coordinating this effort?
This has taken many weeks. I've worked closely with Ray Templeton. He's been an incredible partner. Couldn't have done any of it without Bree Dolphin. She's been my right and left hand. A lot of logistics, a lot of scheduling, but a lot of collaboration with the retail team. They've been fabulous.
Okay, so Ray Templeton, that's a common name. Who's Ray Templeton?
Ray Templeton used to work at Broad River Retail, and now he is managing the field sales managers and trainers that service the United States and Canada.
For Ashley.
For Ashley Global.
Yeah, for Ashley Global Retail, yeah. We call him the Professor, or even, he had a lot of nicknames. Ray-Bans, the Wizard, the Professor. Yeah. And he opened a lot of stores for us, was a general manager, was I think a district manager or an area manager by the time he moved around, and then came back to Ashley. And so he's helping us coordinate with AJ Salem and that whole field sales training team.
Yes.
And so they have, 8 different trainers across our 8 sites?
Yes, they do. We have 8 trainers, including, in addition to that, we have Ray and 2 new trainers that were here to just see it in action as they're in training themselves.
Okay, so they converge with 11 people.
Correct.
Okay, and we've got 330 people, massive amount of effort. Now, is it just our sales force? Is it just our HFCs? Or who all is attending the class from Broad River?
Our HFCs, REMs, anybody retail, all senior sales managers, AGMs, GMs, senior retail leadership team, all the multi-unit leaders, everybody that has to do with retail.
And why is it important to bring in all of these audiences? Why is it important to bring the GMs, or why is it important to bring the REMs? The REMs don't typically attend product training, do they?
They don't, but they're a key role in our stores. They deal with our guests face-to-face every day, whether it be during the sales process, but a lot of times it's post-sales. And this just gives them another way to connect with the guests, congratulate them on the product, show that they are also a master in our product so that they gain trust with the guests. And it makes them feel like they're part of the team. It's one team, one goal, one mission.
Yeah. So to bring 330 folks, how often do you think we'll be doing a training program like this? Will there be continuing education, or is this like a one and done sort of deal?
No, our plan right now, and it's kind of lofty, is to do this twice a year.
Twice a year, okay.
Yeah.
So how did this whole thing kind of come about from your perspective?
Ray Templeton called with the offer, said that this was a brand new program. They had only done it a couple times, and he knows us at Broad River and felt like we would be a good partner. And of course, in Broad River style, we raised our hand and said, heck yeah, we want to go first and be the leader. So here we are.
That's awesome. And I think some of the early groups who've gone through it, we've heard they've had some pretty good success, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
What have you heard about how the ROI that they get from kind of putting all their people through a product training session?
Yeah, the weekend following the training, they had, and we will have this weekend, a special event. We'll have a private event. The returns for the other groups that have gone through this have been equal to a tent pole, equal to a Black Friday weekend. So the early returns have been huge. Our goal is to sustain that. We know that there'll be, a big surge this first weekend, but the idea is that this is something that the team can execute every day, and we should see a sustained success.
Okay. And so, typically we train on like systems knowledge or sales techniques. We've talked on this podcast, gone behind the scenes we recently did a C4 process training, and this is all like about product knowledge, right?
Yes.
Or is there some sales technique involved in this as well?
It's about a 50-50. The goal of AGR is really for it to be product knowledge, but because they're teaching features and benefits, and that's part of our C4 sales process is to sell from features and benefits, that's what's most important to the customer. For us, it's a 50-50 because it falls right into our C4 process.
Okay. So you said we're going to do a private event. We want to see sustained success. What are some of the ways that we're going to like measure success? We try to think about, well, how do we define success? How will we measure it? What are we doing to like key stats or performance metrics or things of that nature? I
mean, obviously we're going to look at our KPIs. The first one being total written revenue, right? But what we'll really know that the impact was strong is when we look at our SPG, and that's going to be looking at an increase in average ticket, increase in conversion, which is what our big hope is from this. So we should see a nice SPG lift. But then we're also going to look for confidence in our sales team, seeing them, while we're in P2I, seeing them execute these features and benefits, demonstrating the product for the guests so that we can truly sell the offered promotion. And then we'll also hopefully see it from our guests and Google reviews.
Yeah. So we love a great acronym here at Broad River Retail. So Renee just dropped a couple. We'll put them on the screen here. SPG is sales per guest. And so we count all of our traffic that comes into our stores during the hours that we're open, and it's just a yield of our sales that we generate for the traffic that comes in. We believe it really makes it an apples to apples comparison within our own stores and the efficiency of how well we're doing with our sales processes, as well as comparing ourselves to other Ashley stores in our network. And then Renee also dropped P2I, which in our vernacular is position to impact. And Renee, isn't that like with the sales leader or the manager on the floor, that head on a swivel, being in a position like within earshot, or being in a position to impact and influence the sales on the floor?
That is correct.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that?
Nope. In P2I, the leader is just jumping in and out of sales, meeting as many guests as possible, supporting their HFCs, Home Furnishing Consultants, and making sure that everything is running smooth and that every experience is great.
Now, Renee, there's a pretty energetic trainer over here.
Yes.
Who's leading the training here in Pineville?
Her name is Teresa, and she is unbelievable. Like I said, today is Friday. It's the final day. She's done this 4 straight days, and her energy level today is no different than it was Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. She's been a true master of her trade. She's amazing.
That's awesome. We're going to get Teresa, we'll do a one-on-one with Teresa as well, just to kind of get her story as well. Because, we like to bring you the story behind the story when we go behind the scenes here at Broad River Retail. You were talking earlier, Renee, about like how we're going to measure success. And the metrics are great, but also we like that kind of anecdotal success and the feedback. We like to curate feedback. Are you planning to do a survey of everyone who attended? And what do you hope to kind of listen for in a survey?
Absolutely. Ashley is doing their survey as well, specifically about their training. We will do our own survey. And what we're looking at is first tenure. We want to look at that group of HFAs that's less than a year and see what their reaction is. And then, 2 to 4 years, and then 5+ years, and see what the reaction is. Our hope is that the veterans will be just as excited and have learned as much as our brand new folks. But we'll measure that through surveys. We'll get all that data together, and we'll slice and dice it and serve it up to you.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that, and the tenure, like on a new HFA, Home Furnishings Associate, another acronym we just dropped, versus an HFP, Home Furnishings Professional, someone who's kind of graduated a couple times in our system, for instance. When you have confidence in what you're selling, you certainly can sell better. You don't have to kind of think, let me think what colors it comes in, or what that pillow's made out of, or the construction of the wood, or let me think about when it's second nature.
That's correct.
You sell with more confidence, you perform better. But I think that you can teach an old dog new tricks, so as the saying goes. And so I think there's something for everyone. So hopefully there's some aha moments for, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, I needed to be prompted or reminded of that, even if you've been here for several years. Have you heard some of those aha moments?
Yes.
Have you gone through the training yourself?
Yes, and throughout lunch yesterday, it was pillow talk, all about how our cushions and pillows are channeled and the different type of foam and the different fillings, and they were so excited to be talking about it and saying, oh, when I do this, I'm gonna show them this, and this is an easy step-up story to go from this fill to that fill. So it was exciting to hear that pillows was a hot topic and cushions was a hot topic.
We'll have to send this podcast to Ron Wanick, because he's going to be I can just see him smiling ear to ear when talking about, like, people know about all the features and benefits that go into the product, because Ashley works really hard to drive value and innovation in their manufacturing processes. That's why we love being partnered with them so much. You've seen several groups come through Pineville, and there's 8 host sites you mentioned. Let's talk about those for just a second.
Sure.
Who are the other host sites, and how was the store determined to be a host site?
We looked at it logistically, so our memory makers wouldn't have to travel further than necessary, because we wanted everybody to be as close to home as possible. So our 8 locations is obviously here in Pineville and Salisbury for the north. In the west, everybody went to Greenville. It's pretty centrally located. For the south, they went to Augusta or Northeast Columbia. And then out east, they went to Raleigh or Four Oaks. And then our Wilmington folks out on the coast went to Ogden.
Okay, so everyone from the mountains in Western North Carolina also went to Greenville.
They did.
Okay,
yes.
Wonderful. So it's great to kind of be spread out and have these host sites. So Renee, what are some of the product categories that we're teaching today?
Today we're teaching all about wood and case goods. We're talking about stationary and motion fundamentals, leather, our fabulous fabric Nuvella, the performance fabric, and how to competitive shop, and how do we explain our difference to the guest.
I have a phrase that I've kind of tried to popularize. I've called it Ashley's legendary values. And so I think that what you get when you come through this is some of the training that I've listened to is just how much Ashley both drives innovation and puts quality, more bang for your buck, or
yes,
pound for pound in the cushioning, and also extracts costs. So like on the leather, where you see it, touch it, feel it, the leather that matters to you. And so you're not paying for stuff that doesn't matter to you. You're only paying for the stuff that really matters to you. What would be some of the examples that you look at that you're like, that's where you might have better quality from their construction than you might think? I saw where she was demonstrating some of the recliners yesterday or the day before, and showing the or where you're seeing that, they've really taken some of the cost to really drive the price down.
One of the favorite things that they've experienced this week is trampoline decking, and being able to take off the cushions and jump on the frame of the sofa and see that quality. Although our prices are right in line with our competitors, nobody else has that.
So trampoline decking. I have seen some pictures of pillows removed from sofas or sectionals and people standing on them.
Yes,
so they're
you will.
Demonstrating the trampoline decking.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anyone where you're saying, hey, it's not a feature that we have, but it might be some a cost savings that we have?
We're also showing with the Nuvella that you can deconstruct the pillow or the cushion, wash the casings, and put it back together so easily. The zippers are amazing. You can stick something in the middle of a zipper and separate it, and it just zips right back up. Yeah.
I love features like that. I love learning about like the gear, so to speak, and the features and benefits. And that's what customers our guests can really get excited about. Oh, I didn't know it had that. And probably, others may not be demonstrating the product at that level. I mean, there's so much that can come from demonstrating the product in a really profound way.
Yes.
When you buy something, you want to know what all features and benefits it has.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You've seen several groups come through Pineville. You've been kind of stationed here at this location.
Yes.
Whether it's this group today or previous groups, what has impressed you about the groups?
The level of engagement.
Really?
Sometimes there's always going to be one or two in a group during training that seems to be bored or disconnected, and I haven't seen that at all. Everybody is leaned in. They're taking great notes. I see lots of note taking. They're asking amazing questions. They're all participating in the practice and the demonstrations. I haven't seen anybody that seems to be anything less than totally in.
That's awesome when you can have that level of engagement. Okay, so this kind of training, let's go rapid fire, is so important right now. Why?
We kind of live in a world of virtual sales, and there's just something impactful about in-person training that you can't get from a screen or you can't get from your phone, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just something, you're making memories when you're with other people learning something new.
Community. I mean, we just came off of our word last year of connect.
Yes.
And those connections truly matter.
Yes.
We're in the business of retail. It's in our name.
Yes.
Retail face-to-face is very impactful.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great answer. How do you think that people will stay motivated after events like this?
I think the fact that they've gone through it with their leaders at the same time is going to help communication stay high. But our leaders, our store leaders know that practice. So every day in their daily connection meetings, which is kind of like a sales meeting, they will practice at least one of the features and benefits that they have learned through this camp every day. The repetition is going to be so important to keep it front of mind.
I love that. And someone who's new to sales and attending this boot camp, do you have a message for that person?
Stay curious, trust the process, know that you were part of something really big and special, and use what the tools we gave you.
Okay, and to another licensee who's thinking about engaging with Ashley AGR to host a boot camp like this, any advice or feedback?
Yeah, I would tell you it's worth all the time, energy, and money. The team has loved it. The learning has been tremendous, but pay attention to the details. Retail is detail, and the logistics is just as important as the training to make sure that everybody gets there calmly and smoothly and comes with an open mind.
And this is a work day for them. Like,
yes, it is.
This is a day that they're scheduled to work.
Yes, it is.
And they're decking 5.5 hours to training, not earning commissions or something else.
That is correct.
So, and then some of them I've heard they go back into their store that night and work the PM shift, so to speak.
Yes, that's happened many times.
Okay, so 330 folks, 8 host locations, 4 days, several weeks of coordination and logistics, a quick lunch break, 5.5 hours. When we run this again, what's one thing that you might change? I
would like to lengthen the day. I think that 5 hours isn't enough. They're all lingering afterwards, hoping to ask more questions. So I think if anything, I would like to take it to maybe a 7-hour day, have a lunch and 2 breaks, and just give them some Q&A time at the end of the training.
You're gonna convince Teresa and Ray and AJ?
I'm going to have that conversation with Ray, absolutely.
Let me know how that goes.
I will.
I got one last question for you.
Okay.
But before I ask it, is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you intended to say or that you wanted?
Yes, one thing. Communication throughout the process is so important. Make sure you cover every detail like I just said. But we did a 10-day countdown to get everybody excited, and I think that was helpful too, that it just kind of created some extra excitement and curiosity about what the program was going to be.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. I really like that because I was getting these emails every day. It was like, Ashley's right to Win Boot Camp, 9 days away, 8 days away, 7 days to go. And it built that momentum, like, oh, what's this? And you just couldn't avoid it. It became something to look forward to. Okay, and so
I'm glad it hit you that way.
Yeah, and so you want to go from 5 hours to 7-hour day, or 5.5 to 8, whatever. Okay, so we love a good T-shirt around here at the river. And so if we had T-shirts for the boot camp, what would the slogan on the back of the shirt say?
That is a great question. I have 2 answers for you. The first one is no more, sell more.
No more, sell more, okay.
That would be kind of internal. Okay. I don't know that would be guest facing, but for guest facing, it would be product smart, people driven, purpose fueled.
I love it. Product smart, people driven, purpose fueled. Renee, it is a great question because you came up with it. Renee, thanks so much for sitting with me here for our brand new series on Ashley's Right to Win Boot Camp. And this is 330 memory makers going through, close to a full day training session, purely on product, a massive investment, but one that we think is going to be super worth it. And we picked a time here. It's right before Easter. We're in between events. I mean, the time was pretty strategic as well, right?
Yes, it was. This is right before our big sleep summit, and then we'll have product knowledge, sleep knowledge, and we'll go right into Memorial Day.
Yeah, so we're in between tentpole events, and that's really, so you're finding the perfect time to wedge in product training. You want to find that, to do that 2 times a year.
Yes.
We love the rhythms of retail. We have weekly rhythms, we have monthly rhythms, quarterly rhythms. This will become a semi-annual rhythm.
Yes.
And so just the rhythms of retail, that consistency. Retail is
detail.
Retail is detail, so she hasn't missed a detail here, folks. So thanks so much for joining us. We try to bring you fresh new content every Tuesday and Thursday. We try to go behind the scenes and bring you stories that you might find interesting or things that are going on here at the River. So thanks for joining us wherever you get your podcast content, whether that's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you listen. Thanks so much for joining us. Renee, thanks again for being a guest.
Thanks for having me.
Here on Stories from the River. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.